Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie and this week it is Summerween. Summerween, you know it, you love it. It is the week-long readathon hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads. I will link all the things down below, but you are very familiar with what Summerween is. It's a thriller horror readathon that Gabby hosts, and pretty much everyone on BookTube participates because it is one of the most fun events of the year. We love Summerween. It's a good opportunity to get through some of our horror thriller books before the official season begins, and we have too many on our TBR that it's just impossible to get through. So, a lot going on, and this is going to be a little bit of a longer introduction because I'm not going to lie. I'm off to a rough start. Not the start to Summerween that I would have wanted to be off to, but it's not completely my fault. It is not entirely my fault. So here is what happened. I had these three lovely books on my TBR. I will quickly go through them. The first one is When the Reckoning Comes by LaTanya McQueen. This is a Southern Gothic horror story, somewhat Gothic. It follows a woman who goes to her best friend's wedding, and it's on a plantation that used to house slaves. And there's some haunting that occurs. I think it's haunted. I don't know. This is a highly recommended horror book that has been on my TBR for a very long time. I talk about it more in my summer TBR video, and I thought this would be really fabulous because I just did my wedding book reading vlog. So this also features a wedding, which I thought would be a fun little transitional piece. So that is on here, as well as Incidents Around the House by Josh Mallerman. This is a brand new horror release. It follows a young girl who finds a spooky presence in her house that she calls the other mother, so very much giving Coraline vibes. And I'm very interested. I've never read a Josh Mallerman, and I'm thinking it's gonna read pretty quick. There's a lot of blank space on the page, which makes this a prime readathon read. And lastly, I picked up The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. This is a summer camp thriller following the aftermath of a young girl's disappearance at the camp. And I already got started on this because this is a long one. This is over 500 pages, and this was completely an impulse buy for me. But I do think that this is going to get a lot of buzz. It already has a lot of buzz because it was a July Book of the Month pick, and I feel like everybody's been reading this. I was just curious, and I really wanted a summer camp vibe and a missing persons case. It's kind of all right up my alley. So I did already start this, but obviously we've got a ways to go. So these were my three that, I was trying to get to. And my plans for today was I was going to go to the pool and make some really good progress on When the Reckoning Comes. This would be the one that I would really hope to get through by the end of this readathon. However, speaking of wedding things and my wedding video, in this video I was like, oh yeah, all the wedding planning is going really well, nothing's happened. And then last night I had a fiasco with my wedding dress, of all things. I went to my first fitting, and I didn't realize until I put on the dress that they shipped the dress in the wrong color. And that doesn't sound like a big deal, but it was, because it basically changed the way the dress looked. Like it wasn't the same dress. And I went back and forth about what I was gonna do. I'm very close to my wedding, so frankly, it was not possible to get another dress or the same one. So this morning I decided to cancel my plans to go to the pool and read my book, which is really all I wanted to do, and instead I had to go emergency wedding dress shopping. The good news is that I found one that I really love, and I'm really happy, and you know what? I think it all worked out in the end, but the bad news is that I didn't get to read this book. Good news, another set of good news, is that on well, I guess I should preface this that first there was some more bad news. I was listening to, and 80% of the way through, I had maybe 1 hour left in the audiobook, I was listening to The Rachel Incident and loving it, really, really enjoying it. I was so excited. I was like, sweet, I get to finish this book this weekend. When Spotify told me that I had no more listening hours left in July, which Seems crazy because I thought I did the math and I'm supposed to get 15 hours. But so I got all the way through this book, all the way to 80%, and I didn't get to finish it because of Spotify. So there's that. Good news. I did start and get halfway through This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. This follows a man who is grieving the death of his wife, and he finds some spooky happenings within his house. It's a very grief-oriented horror story. It's a haunting story, and I'm halfway through it, and there's a lot that I like about it. So I will just save this conversation, but this apparently is now going to be a part of Summerween. So I'm excited. I'm very happy because I've been meaning to get to this book for so long, and it's been on my TBR for forever. So I'm very happy to finally be getting through this, and the audiobook is really short too, which is kind of surprising. Like, when I saw the length, I was just like confused because it looks like it would be an average, 8-hour audiobook, and it was like less than 6. So, okay, good for me. So I'm halfway through this, almost halfway through this, and it's officially on the TBR. Great. Okay, this is what I mean when I said this was going to be a really long introduction, and I'm sorry. But so now the process is going to be, how do I get through these? God of the Woods, I don't think that I'm going to get much farther in it. It's just too long, but I can really focus on getting through these 2 books. I would love to make that happen. And outside, even though I did want to go to the pool today, it is pouring rain. It is a little bit of a Summerween storm, and that is perfect for the atmosphere. That's why I've got the atmosphere, the vibes going on right now. It is like 3:30 and it's this dark. So it is storming outside, which is the perfect atmosphere to sit and read a little horror book that I have been desperately wanting to get to and kick off this Summerween finally. This is the part of the video where I am going to try to talk as fast as I can or see how much I can get through before a bunch of noise starts happening outside my window. I don't know. It sounds like they're doing some work. They're always doing work with loud machines. There's one right now. Or a train goes by, and what is that? A giant sound outside my window. I'm trying to see how much I can get through before I have to stop because of that. Okay, well, I'm just doing the best that I can with all the noise outside my window. I can't change it. Happy Summerween. Summerween still going on. This is still the Summerween vlog. Actually, at the time I'm filming this right now, I only have a day left in Summerween, and it's kind of crazy because I have some significant reading updates that I am going to talk to you about, but I'm constantly kind of torn between feeling like, I'm accomplishing something with Summerween, and also I'm just not able to get as much done as I want because, yeah, I already mentioned to you about my wedding dress fiasco. That took an entire day out of my weekend that I was anticipating sitting and spending by the pool reading a horror book. That was a whole day that I had scheduled for Summerween that I didn't end up getting to do. And then the rest of this week, I'm just really busy. I've been doing kind of double shifts at work, and that just means that I have not had time to read in the evening as much as I would have loved to. I'm doing my best to get through some books for Summerween, but it is what it is, I know that some people, like some of our big booktube creators, our friends, are posting, vlogs for, 2 days of Summerween at a time, and I just am not able to do that, unfortunately, not at this time. So I am going to kind of extend my own personal Summerween through the weekend so that I can hopefully get through a couple more of these books. Okay, on to the reading updates, and I do think some of them are going to be a little unexpected. There's going to be some books in here that I haven't even mentioned yet, and that's just because that's how my reading goes. That's how the cookie crumbles around here. Okay, first up, we have This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. I actually finished this, so this is my first official book that I completed during Summerween, and this is a thriller horror type thing. Let me first tell you what I thought it was about. So I picked this book up. It's been on my TBR. I've been just so intrigued by it. I've mentioned it in a couple of videos actually, because this is a book that I don't know, it was calling to me. I just was really interested in its premise. And I thought it followed a young couple who kind of experienced a little bit of a haunted house situation. And then, you know, there's a mention of like a haunted, like Amazon Alexa device. So a haunted technology thing. And that is really what intrigued me. This ended up being so weird. Like, it is just genuinely just so bizarre. It's almost like speculative, kind of just a different kind of horror. I thought it was going to be a haunted house, paranormal, and it's different than that. I don't even know. I don't know if I should say what kind of horror, what category it falls into, because I don't know if that's a spoiler. Because I just think that like the back doesn't explain what it is. And I thought it was fine. There were a lot of things that I enjoyed about it, but mainly it was just a bit too weird for my taste. If the back of the book would have described this closer to what it actually is, I don't think I would have been interested in it in the first place. I finished it. There definitely are horror elements to it. I didn't even expect there to be much horror in it at all. I actually thought it was gonna be more of like a suspense thriller with a literary edge to it, but it's really not. It's pretty genre fiction. It has a lot of horror elements, but it is weird. It's bizarre. Half of this book, like at least 50%, I had no idea what was even going on. Like I was trying to follow it, and granted, I did listen to this on audiobook, which, can't lie, audiobooks are kind of not doing me well right now. I just feel like I haven't been processing or like been as engaged with them. Not all of them. I've read some good ones. I've had some good ones, but just recently I just feel like I've been kind of missing on audiobooks. And it's not to say that the performance was bad or anything like that. Like, I think it was a fine audiobook. It just, I'm kind of struggling to engage with them in the way that they probably deserve to be engaged with. So maybe that is an element of my feeling towards it, but I just thought it was okay. I didn't get what was going on for a lot of it. I was trying to follow it. It was difficult and weird, but you know what? A lot of people have really loved this. So if you are a person who loves weird fiction, weird horror, is a little bit more okay with some out there stuff, maybe give it a try. That is so loud. It's so rude. Okay, moving on. Next update that I have, I did start When the Reckoning Comes by LaTanya McQueen. Okay, this is a horror book that I have had on my TBR for a long time. I have met the author. She actually used to work at my college, and I never took a class with her, but she used to be an English professor at my school, so that is really, really cool, and I have been wanting to read this for a long time. I'm not too far into it, to be honest. Like, I'm just barely over the 50-page mark. I'm at like 62 pages, so I still have, you know, a ways to go. But initial reactions to this, it's okay. It's definitely, I don't know if I'm completely loving all of the writing. I am and I'm not. I don't know. I can't really decide where I'm at with it right now. Also, a large part of this first section was kind of flashing back to their time as children or young teenagers, I guess. And I haven't been as invested in that section. I would have preferred for there to be more at the front. And again, I'm only 65 pages in, so yes, there's been a little bit at the plantation in their current day, I mean, but I don't know if I loved the choice to have the flashback, the setup at the very beginning. It just felt like it took a long time to get to where the story feels like it's starting. I don't know if this is even fair though, because I'm just not far enough into it to really know. I will continue on with it, and you know, it's not a long book. So this is the one that I was intending to read the entire day at the pool and didn't get to happen. So I'm going to do it this weekend. I'm going to try again, and I do intend to get through this. We'll see how I end up feeling. I don't know where I'm sitting right now. I think we're just going to have to see where this goes. Okay, and then I did start The God of the Woods. This also, I'm at the very beginning. I'm kind of like currently in the middle of like 6 or 7 books just for various different reasons. And yeah, I did start this book. I am on page also, yeah, I'm on page 80, so not very far into this one either. And the issue is that like, I just knew if I only read this book, I wouldn't get to anything else for Summerween. Not that it seems to have even been mattering, but, and I wanted to prioritize when the reckoning comes. I knew if I tried to read all this, I wouldn't even pick this up. So this became my priority. But I did start God of the Woods, and once again, it's okay. I love the setting of the summer camp though. That is like what's drawing me to pick it up, is that I just love the setting. The summer camp is so fun. It's so fun. I never went to a summer camp like this, like a classic New England summer camp, but man, this is making me wish I did, even though a child goes missing. But I just love the setting. That's the main thing. The mystery element, it's just, I'm not far enough into it to really know or care, and they do a little setup right at the beginning where you kind of see the child is missing. It takes place in both the present and 2 months, the start of the camp, so it's flashing back forward and backwards. I don't mind it. I do find the writing a little bit simple, and also kind of oddly, I feel like there's like some editing mistakes in here. This is a brand spanking new book, like it just came out, so like last week. So that is a little bit odd to me, that I just feel like the editing could have been improved on this. Just sentence structure wise, I don't feel like it's always 100% correct, which is odd. And the writing is a little bit plain, which is something that I did expect from this book. So I wasn't thinking I was gonna get anything crazy from the writing here. I'm liking it, I guess, but I will need this to pick up the tension, I think, to really end up like pushing it into something that I'm gonna love. I'm enjoying it enough to keep going with it though. I just don't know, because it is so long, I just like don't know where or how to prioritize to get it done. And then this one is really random. I did start listening to Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaughey, another book that has been on my TBR for a really long time. This one and her other one, Migrations, both of them have been high on my TBR. And the reason that I ended up picking this one, actually my fiance, I gave him my Libby app, and I was like, okay, here's all my available now TBR books. Just pick one for me to start reading, because I just couldn't decide. And he picked this one for me. So I guess this is gonna be a Summerween read now, which it sort of can be. I'm obsessed with this cover. Like, yeah, it's also nice and short, which I appreciate. And it does have a bit of a thrilling element to it. So this follows a woman who is a biologist, and she is working to reintroduce wolves to the Scottish Highland habitat. And then one of the townspeople ends up dead. They think that the wolf did it, but she thinks that somebody else in the town did it. So it's kind of a murder mystery element. But it is largely focused on the nature aspect, on her like communing with the wolves, and I do enjoy that. I don't know, once again, I kind of wish that I was enjoying it more. I'm about almost 50% of the way into this, and I really wanted to love this. This is one that I was hoping would be amazing and perfect for me, and right now the mystery element is just not strong enough. I'm 50% into it, so it's like by now I think something should be happening, and it's okay. It's okay. Again, I will just have to get to the end and really, it's just like, I don't know. I wish that I was being more entertained. And this is another one where I am listening to this on audiobook, and that's what I'm saying. I'm just not engaging the way that I want to engage with books via audiobook. And I am conscious about which books that I choose to listen to on audiobook, because I am aware that by listening to the audiobook, I might end up liking them less. Sometimes I like them more, but it's just, I do have that awareness that I might not be engaging with it as well if it's via audiobook, just because there's space for my mind to kind of wander a little bit more than if I'm reading it like with my eyes. So the thing is, I just kind of wish that this was more entertaining at this point. I just kind of find it a little bit dull right now, but I'm already halfway through, so I'm gonna finish it. So that's where I'm at for my reading update, my Summerween update. I am reading. I just like, I wish I could be getting through some of this a little bit faster, but I'm just really, really busy right now. This is just the worst week for Summerween to have occurred based on my own work schedule, so I'm doing the best that I can. And I'm trying to find some interesting footage and things to film as well, just for the fun of the vlog. But yeah, I'm going to continue on with some of these, and I will let you know when I have another update. So I was just mentioning how I'm looking for interesting things to put in this vlog and, you know, all these book vlogs that I do. And I do have something interesting. I have an Aardvark book box that we are gonna open. I'll show you what I got. But this is what I thought is funny, because I am watching Katie Coulson do her daily Summerween vlogs. Like, this is what I just mentioned, that, you know, of course these big booktubers are able to vlog daily, and I love Katie. I love Katie so much. Katie, we should hang out because we're both in Atlanta. Okay. I love her, and she's doing daily vlogs for Summerween, and she's mentioning how she's like dying trying to edit them all and put them all out. And like, I know people are doing that for Vlogmas too, and I'm like, I can barely get vlogs out. Like, I can't get them out in a reasonable amount of time. Doing this one for Summerween, it's already challenging, especially because I'm not doing a good job of actually reading this week, because I've had so many other things that have had to happen that have been unrelated to reading. And also, I think it's just funny because, like, us booktubers trying to vlog, like, what do we have to show, really? Like, we spend so much of our time in a little square room reading. Like, that's why all of my footage takes place in this room, because this is my library room, this is my office room, and the rest of my house is a disaster, and I don't want to film out there. And then, like, what else am I doing? Nothing interesting, honestly. Like, I'm not doing anything interesting. So that's just a little insider information I wanted to share, that it is very difficult to continually find interesting things to vlog about. Especially, I've been thinking about this a lot because I'm doing this summer reading series. I don't even know if I mentioned that I was doing this formally. I'm off on a tangent now, but we're already in it, so it's gonna happen. I just wanted to do this like vlog series that really, it's not like super formal. I just put out a couple, and I'm gonna include this one, of course, and then a couple more that I have plans for throughout the summer, but who knows if we can get to those reading goals. But I'm doing a summer reading vlog project just for the fun of it, just for me, and it doesn't even really have a formal thing on here. It's just what I'm doing, and it's kind of making me realize, like, oh, how do I get footage? But I don't know, because I watch my favorite booktubers and I'm never bored by them. I'm never wondering, like, oh, like, you know, what else can they do? Like, no, I'm never thinking that about other people. So it's like, you know what? You're always your own harshest critic. And at the end of the day, we are here to talk about books. And so let's wrap up that tangent. And I just scared her. I scared my cat so bad, but I just like slapped that box. Let's talk about some books. Here's my Aardvark book box for July. And here's the thing about this one. I kind of did not like any of the choices for July. So I did just get a bunch of books that I don't know if I even have any intention of reading, which sounds bad, but the thing is that we already prepaid for the entire year of Aardvark. So I already paid for these books, so I couldn't just skip because I've already paid for them. And there's no way with Aardvark right now that I'm aware of, there's no way to like save those credits and roll them into another month. So, and I rarely need 3 books anyway. I rarely want all 3 of them to begin with. So it's like, I don't need more credits and more months, like, because that's not, I just don't need them. But the fact is, I wasn't really into any of the picks for this month. I'm gonna do a big video at the end of the year of my thoughts on Aardvark after doing it for a year and compared to book of the month. That's gonna come at the very end of the year. I've been planning it all year, and if you're watching this video right now, guess what? You're the first to know. Okay, so let's see here. I have The Stardust Grail by Yumi Kitsei, author of The Deep Sky. I've heard of The Deep Sky. I know that Regan from Prue's project. Is that her name? I just know her as Reagan. I don't know if that's actually her channel name. She loved The Deep Sky, so I've been interested in it. I don't know what this one is about. I don't know what it's about. It's a space thing. The Stardust Grail. Okay. Interesting. Sci-fi. We'll see. I don't know. This is crazy. A novel love story. A novel love story by Ashley Poston. Everyone loves this author. She wrote 7 Year Slip and The Dead Romantics. Okay, everyone loves this. I did just see that Gabby from Gabby Reads just read that and she didn't like it. This is a really cute cover though. Like, I'm obsessed. It's very, very cute. And this follows a woman who ends up transported into her favorite romance's town. Like, she ends up in the town of her favorite fictional romance. And it seems very cute, but it also seems very cheesy, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I just picked this up because, again, I didn't really like any of the picks, and I guess I'll try it. I don't know. And finally, I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones. I've never read Stephen Graham Jones, but I do have Only the Good Indians on my TBR shelf, on my physical TBR. So now I have this one. Although I've not been hearing like the best things about it. And speaking of our lovely friend Katie, she just read this and she did not like it. Not that we always have like the most exact, we don't always have close overlapping book taste, but if she didn't like this, I don't think that I would have any chance of liking it, which is a little bit sad. And like, if I was going to read a Stephen Graham Jones, I just don't think this is the one that I would really start with, because I don't watch a lot of horror movies, you know, and this kind of seems like this is in that genre of books about and slash for people who really enjoy horror movies, which he kind of already did with My Heart is a Chainsaw. So I don't really get this one. I don't know. The point is, I got these 3 books. And I will not even lie to you, I don't really care about any of them. So what I think I'm going to do is probably I'm going to end up just trading them in. I'm going to go to my local used bookstore and probably sell them these copies and get a credit and then get a book that I actually am interested in. And I don't really feel bad about doing that because, like I said, we already paid for these books. So, and there's no way for me to get my money back for a month or move those credits over. So like, I had no choice. I wasn't going to waste the money that we spent on these 3 books. Like, I already paid for them. So that's where I'm at. The other thing that I just remembered, I was just thinking about this. I should watch the Summerween episode of Gravity Falls because that would be perfect. So I think I am going to do that tonight. Oh my gosh, you guys, I just saw that they are making a Witch Hat Atelier anime and it looks so beautiful. They just released the trailer on Crunchyroll and it looks so beautiful. Witch Hat Atelier, I've read the first and second and I'm like kind of thinking about slowly collecting the volumes. I really wish they had an omnibus of them because I don't like to get the individual ones, but really, really fun, cute witch manga. I love it. And this anime looks so good. Oh my gosh, let me show you. I had to turn off the sound because there's music in it, but I'm so excited. This is so exciting. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. I don't even know, like, how am I going to watch this? I think we have a Crunchyroll account. I don't know, but that's amazing. This is exciting news. Okay, I was just reading this right now, and can I just say that this author loves to use em dashes, and I like an em dash. I do, but she's using them incorrectly, like most of the time. Like it's it's actually getting so annoying. It's taking me out of the story because I'm so frustrated with these dang em dashes. This is what I was trying to say when I was like, there's some editing issues. Like, sometimes the sentences are just not written correctly, and it's really, really annoying. And then also, like, every chapter, the perspective changes, and it also changes in time and space, and not in like a coherent, fun way, but just like a very annoying way. And the main issue, though, is that sometimes she'll like switch chapters but keep the same perspective and the same time. So it's like one character gets 2 chapters in a row, and I'm just like, why'd you even split it up then? What's the point of that? Anyway, the story is like somewhat fine, but the editing is kind of annoying me. That's all. Good morning. Quick update. Well, I'm about to go to the pool, which is very exciting because I've been really busy and I haven't been able to go to a pool like at all this summer. So I'm excited to be able to do that. I did yesterday. I finished Once We Were Wolves. Once There Were Wolves. I keep saying Once We Were Wolves. Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaughey. And, you know, it was fine. I am sad that I didn't end up really loving it because this has been on my TBR for so long, and I kind of thought that it would be something that I really liked, but I don't know, it might just be me. Like, I didn't really find anything wrong with it. I just like wasn't engaged by it. And again, this just could have been because I was on an audiobook. Could have been just because, I don't know, right now I don't know, I'm not like in the most reading mood. Like, I've just been, my head is busy with other things. I've been really, really busy between my wedding and work, and yeah, I've just been really busy, and it's been hard to, I don't know, like it's been hard to escape into books and like focus enough. But then again, I've read some books that I really, really like recently, so it's like, I don't know, maybe whatever the situation, I'm happy I read this one, but I am moving on. Today, I don't know, I'm gonna bring something to the pool, but I haven't decided what, so I'm doing that. I'm very excited. I did end up watching the Summerween episode of Gravity Falls. Exciting. All right, I'm going to the pool, and then I will hopefully finish a book today. All right, it is time to wrap up this vlog because we are at the end of my slightly prolonged, extended Summerween, and I'm ready to call it a week. Good news. I finished a book. I did finish When the Reckoning Comes by LaTanya McQueen. As you saw, I had a wonderful day at the pool yesterday. I had a really fantastic day at the pool. It was actually like the first day that I actually got to really enjoy my summer, I feel like. I mean, I got a couple other okay days, but I was on cloud 9 yesterday. I was having the best time in the pool, in the sun, reading, just enjoying a very relaxing day after a not so relaxing week. But yeah, bad news though is that I didn't really like this book. I mean, I don't know, it's hard because like, okay, this is a short book. It's like less than 230 pages. Now the writing is like a little bit dense, like text wise, like the text is small, so maybe it's not as short as I thought it was, but I got to like 50% of this book, and the like haunting, scary aspects of it had not even come into play yet. And for me, I do just like find that to be a problem, especially like, I don't know if this is actually considered a horror book or if this is like literary fiction or what, but I definitely was going into it expecting a horror driven story, and it is very horrific in the descriptions of the horrible things that the slaves on this plantation endured. It's upsetting. It's upsetting to read. It's just awful. But as far as the kind of paranormal aspect of it, it does not come up until over halfway into the book, and I just didn't feel that the pacing of this was really what I wanted. There's a lot of buildup. There's a lot of telling us about like events of these three friends, their lives as children, and just in general, I felt like we were being told a lot of facts about the characters, but I wasn't really feeling them. I don't know. It's not to say that it was like bad. Like I don't know. I think it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I don't know. I just felt like it was kind of dragging. It was a bit repetitive. But it wasn't horrible. I mean, I think I'd probably give it like 3 stars. It didn't land for me. I don't know. I just didn't love it. But I am happy that I read it because I've been meaning to read it for a while, and I love the concept of it. Like, that's the thing. I really love the setup. I love the premise. I love all of that. I just didn't completely land with the execution, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm happy that I did finish a physical book during Summerween, so good job there. And also another update that I have is that I kind of spontaneously this morning decided to start listening to The Honeys by Ryan, don't know his last name. Well, I was cleaning my house this morning and I got actually over 50% into The Honeys, and this is actually a YA book, so a little bit shocking that I decided to pick it up, but I just like, my curiosity was, it was killing me. I had to know about this book. And the reason that I picked it up is because it is another summer camp horror book, but it is YA, so there's that. But summer camp horror, and I saw online that someone had compared it to like Midsummer, and it has elements of like cottage witchery, which I'm very interested in, and like just like cult sisterhood summer camp vibes. Like, it just always just like, I was just so curious. And I started listening to it this morning, and I gotta say, I am really, really enjoying it. I actually think it's even doing the summer camp vibe like better than, than God of the Woods, because this one is so long, and I did make good progress. You know, I did get through this book. I mean, I'm over 100 pages into it, and because of the length, it just doesn't get to the summer camp quickly enough, I guess. I mean, it does, but not, the pace of this is not fast. Whereas in Honeys, I felt like this thing is flying. The pace is crazy and so engaging. The main character is such a great character. I really love Mars. It's a gender fluid protagonist, which is just not something we ever see. So that's amazing. And I just love Mars's personality. They're just so amazing and just so engaging as a protagonist. And then, of course, like the aesthetics and the horror elements are really fun, especially considering it's a YA book. It doesn't really go like too far in the horror. At least I'm only 50%, so like I think it's gonna get crazy by the end, but it's doing the pace so well, and the summer camp vibes are just so strong. I love all the activities they're doing. We get all of the camp things, all the like competitions between the cabins and all of the activities, and it's just, it's so far, it's really hitting exactly what I wanted to hit. And the longer I'm listening to this, I'm just like seeing this movie in my mind, and I'm like, oh my god, this would make such a good movie. Like, we are desperately missing a teen summer camp movie. We haven't made one of those in a really long time, and this one would be so fun. The vibes are just, I'm just loving it. I'm just loving it. It's doing more than what I wanted, and it's giving me all the vibes that I was kind of hoping I would get out of this. But this one is so fun, and I'm just loving it. And so with that, I am wrapping up Summerween. I have had a really fun week. I have been completely engulfed in the Summerween vibes. I did the bingo board, didn't complete every square for sure, but I really tried to get in the spirit. I've had so much fun watching everybody's vlogs. A lot of people were vlogging daily, which is not something I could really do, but I had so much fun watching all the content, and just I love how big of an event on BookTube this is. Like, it feels like everyone participates in Summerween, and it's just like, it's amazing. It gets better every year. So I am honored to be able to participate in it as a booktuber for my first time, really, my first time. I did try last year, didn't end up making a video for it because I just couldn't get it together, but I'm so happy that I was able to do it this year and I had the best time. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, week, month, year, and summer, and I will see you back here next time. Thanks so much. Bye.